The trade recovery is strong but unequal, mirroring the K-shaped recovery in global economic output. Some regions, those with access to vaccines and sufficient fiscal space, are recovering strongly, while poorer regions with mostly unvaccinated populations are lagging behind. Moreover, the risks to the outlook are firmly on the downside. The pandemic itself is far from over, and new outbreaks and variants of COVID-19 could weigh on trade and output through 2022. Both sea freight container throughput and air cargo are at or near all-time highs, reinforcing the notion that supply chain stress is being driven largely by the demand side. We also see very high ocean freight rates driving more cargo to the air freight channel. Rising transport costs and delivery delays are creating major challenges for small and medium-sized businesses, which often only need small volumes and are competing with large firms with much greater volume demands.
The ocean freight shipping companies have increased their orders for the standardized containers, and that those are that supply is going to be coming on board here probably in the next few months. And my guess is you're going to see the ocean and air freight environment start to stabilize here in the next few months. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the longer term we see a return to something that looked much more normal.
Trade and services has been hard hit by the pandemic and has not really fully come back. And it shows the beginnings of a recovery, but at a lower level. Sort of, there seems to be maybe some long-lasting damages to services trade, and services trade will probably remain, below its potential as long as there are significant restrictions on the movement of people across borders as a result of the pandemic.
The trade figures are the latest proof of how inequitable access to vaccines is exacerbating economic divergence across regions. The longer vaccine inequity is allowed to persist, the greater the chance that even more dangerous variants of COVID-19 will emerge, setting back the health and economic progress we have made to date. Even though trade was falling both in terms of volume and value, the trade in medical supplies and equipment, PPEs, face masks, all the things that were needed was moving around the world, and that really helped. Otherwise, those who didn't have access would not have been able to have any of those medical supplies and equipment. So the story of trade in the pandemic is a good one. The story of trade for the economic recovery itself is what we are now telling is also good news. And I think this whole constellation of good news should give us the kind of, what should we say, push for us to really try to continue this trajectory of good news coming out of trade and out of WTO. For MC12, a lot of things make for success. And we have quite a few exciting things happening. Let's take fisheries. Everyone admits that this is the most momentum they've seen in a long time. I'm not saying that momentum will necessarily lead to success, but this is the most momentum we've seen, and I think we ought to build on it to try to complete this for the sake of the livelihoods of many poor, millions of fishermen and women, as well as the sustainability of our oceans.